Welcome to Empowering Plans, a show dedicated to identifying waste and undue expense in the health benefits industry, discovering ways to maximize benefits while minimizing costs, and empowering employers, administrators, and consultants to emphasize, once again, the benefit in benefit plan. Today's episode is brought to you by the Phia Group, empowering plans since 1999. Now here are your hosts, the Phia Group's own CEO, Adam Russo, and Senior Vice President and General Counsel, Ron Peck.
Hello, welcome once again to the next episode of the Empowering Plans podcast with the Phia Group. It's time yet again for another Faces of Phia episode where we are introducing the outside world to, I like to say it's the large part of the iceberg, guys. When we talk about the tip of the iceberg, the thing you see, that's Brady, that's Adam, that's Ron. You know, we're the guys who are floating up above the water that you see. But little do you know, beneath us, I'm so sorry, but deep beneath us under the cold water is the majority of the company, the people who are actually doing all the work and floating us along and, you know, basically bearing the weight of the polar bears. And that is the majority of the iceberg.
So they're responsible for the Titanic sinking. Okay.
They are responsible. If anything, we were up above waving, saying, "Don't come here, watch out." But these guys are the ones who sank the Titanic, or as it relates to health benefit plans, rise up and save the industry. But yes, you are the gears that keep this company going, and you are the faces of Phia. And unfortunately, the vast majority of our industry, our clients, our partners and friends, they don't really have the opportunity to interact with our faces of Phia on a daily basis the way we do, and so I don't think they get to really appreciate the level of professionalism, talent, and just all-around great personalities that we have here. So that's the purpose of Faces of Phia, that's the purpose of today's episode, and that's the purpose of having Hemant Dua, our face of Phia. Actually, wait a second. Phia Dua, it doesn't quite, I'm trying to pronounce the name in a way that it will rhyme with the company name as if you were literally born to be here, which would be a horrible fate. I don't understand why anyone would want that destiny. But come on, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ron, for having me here today. And, as you said, Faces of Phia. So I think this is a great thing that we have just started. And, Phia, it's been 4 years now that I've been with Phia.
No way.
Yeah, seriously.
Like a college education. Unbelievable.
Exactly.
Where does the time go?
Right? So, when I came, I had like 15 years experience with the IT industry and, talking all about big enterprises. And Phia was very different, right? Not a big enterprise at that time, but I think the changes that have happened in the last 4 years is amazing.
Well, we owe you because before you arrived, we were actually calculating liens using an abacus. Right, and we were fighting over it, right? Because I had the Fisher-Price one with the red beans and the blue beans, and Brady, he only had the one with the regular wood tone, natural, and he was fighting me for the colorful abacus. But ever since you arrived, we laugh, and I think our COO Joe Montalto, he claims a lot of credit for the sort of this boom in technology and really how we've innovated as far as our IT is concerned. But the truth is, he's just like that head coach, right, who comes to the team and then he goes and recruits all the best players, right, and he gets all the credit. But I mean, when it comes to quarterbacking, defense, kicking, you're the man that does it all.
Are you telling me I'm Tom Brady?
I'm saying you are. That's funny.
That's
because,
what I heard.
You're the better Brady of the two, right?
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding, Brady. You're the GOAT, buddy.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So, but just to give just some examples of some projects that our clients would actually know about that have already been implemented that they've probably noticed and said, "Wow, what a great new innovation! What a great new offering that you played a key role in or integral role in developing."
Couple of big projects, and technology-wise, healthcare has always been big on data.
Mm-hmm.
And Tableau as a tool, as a reporting tool, has been completely, changing how we see this data, how we see, what kind of claims we have seen in the past year, how patients are behaving, how doctors are behaving, whether these claims are getting approved or not by TPAs. All that data is now easily available to our clients. Our TPAs can see how much recovery has happened in the past, right? They can see what's up there, what's out there, what's going to happen, predict in next 3-4 quarters. So, reporting tools like Tableau have changed a lot. How, Phia is giving data to our clients. That's just one example. There is another example like simple ACH. Long time back, 3-4 years back, we used to tell our clients by just purely sending emails that the money has been put to your account and they didn't get the actual details what was happening behind the scenes to get into their systems. But now we have automation where actually some of our real big clients, there is an automatic clearinghouse ACH happening to their accounts. There is an automatic details of each and every claim and what check amount has been deposited in their accounts, and they get all clarifications just automatically.
It's funny. Everything you're doing, a lot of this has to do with transparency, right? Information and transparency, which is funny because in our industry, a lot of complaints have to do with a lack of transparency, right? Where it comes to healthcare expenses or patient behavior, hidden terms between the contract. And it's really nice to see that you've done things and you've leveraged these tools that are available to take that message of transparency is important, it's a great thing to have, and have applied it to what we're doing internally. So people can look at the information that we're creating and basically say, hey, Phia lives by their own message, and they're 100% transparent. So I really appreciate what you've done there. Unfortunately, you've taken away the mystery on a lot of these things too. People, I like it when clients, they come in on a Monday, start of the month, and there's all this money in an account. They go, ooh, where'd that come from? It's like when you find $20 in your pocket and you don't know where it came from. But your way's probably better. It's funny. I remember you talking about the Tableau when we first started creating reports. I remember you guys did an internal report as far as, the different performance geographically. And all I remember was that each slide, the map was a different color. And I was like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever, where it's like, state law is green and federal law is purple. Man, Brady,
Those things go a long way.
You don't appreciate it, but when most of your reports are all black and white, to see this, it helped me because I'm not good with numbers. I'm a visual guy. But yeah, 4 years, it is incredible to see because I think the Phia Group really got going, more than a couple decades ago. We're talking, 1999. The focus always was this sort of marriage or blending of technology and law. And at first, when we built proprietary software whose purpose was to scrub claims data, flag opportunities for recovery, take individual claims and kind of clump them together into incidents so you're not bombarding people with letters for every time they're treated for the same injury. We were so proud of that, and we touted the technology. But then over the years, in order to keep up with changing law and regulations, and obviously the entire consulting team, so much emphasis was put on the legal growth and development of the company that I look back and I think, did that technology plateau? And I'm so happy that you've come on board and everything that people like Brady and myself have done from a legal perspective, you brought and then some as far as technology is concerned. And I think our clients owe you a lot for that.
Yeah, this technology in my mind has always been that will empower you. Like empowering plans is our motto as far as the Phia Group. Technology empowers end users. It improves efficiencies. It makes users, give you those tools that you were doing something, saying in hours, you should be able to do that in minutes.
Yes.
Right. So basically, that's what we have to look for, and that's what always has been my passion. My passion has been technology. I mean, that's why I was here. And helping, healthcare using technology is something that I'm looking for in the next 3 to 5 years too.
Well, on that topic, Hemant, let me pick your brain on this. I look at some of the other big players getting involved potentially now in the healthcare space, like Amazon, right, and all of the power that they bring to it. Where do you see the use of data going in the next 5 years from now? If we sat down with Hemant again, which we might do, and we're to talk about what's happening in the industry, how people are using big data, what do you think you would say? What's different or what's going to happen?
So you must have heard a lot of buzzwords in technology, right? And I'll throw some buzzwords which are out there and which you would see Amazon and big players, talking about. So a couple of buzzwords are blockchain.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you hear about blockchain all the time. And how come blockchain helped me? So a lot of people don't even know what blockchain does, what it is, right? So in a very simple terms, in a financial industry, how blockchain is helping out is something called as Know Your Customer or KYC, that a lot of banks have started putting together, that how one bank would know already whether you have taken a loan from a third party or another bank by Know Your Customer, sharing that data that you just talked about across them, and then having that kind of trust between the banks so that they can trust their end users.
Right.
Same concept if you put to healthcare, and if possible, you can have a KYP, know your patient, right? So you go from one hospital to another hospital to third, maybe to TPAs, everybody knows, if the patient allows, beforehand that he went to a hospital back in, in another state, and now he's coming here to get treatment. I already know it, complete treatment history of that patient, which is not there as of today. You have to give all those kinds of approvals, but transparency, like you talked about. So technology, as in blockchain, can provide that trust among all the different players and improve the healthcare overall. So that's just one example, one use case I'm talking about.
I like those buzzwords: transparency, more data, sunshine, as we'd put it in the political space. But I hope that all this big data is, and I think many listeners would agree, I hope the data is used also to hold providers accountable too. So we get a sense of what services should cost, right? Are we getting good value? Are we getting good quality for what we're paying? And all those things, I'm optimistic now, talking to Hemant.
Same thing can apply to providers. And actually, I was reading an article by United Healthcare that they started doing this, that all the provider data, when a provider gets onboarded, is also going to get shared beforehand by the different hospitals where their provider are coming from. So that is something that they are also trying to solve using a concept of blockchain. The second thing that has started coming out in the industry is robots. Right? They all talk about these artificial intelligence bots.
Right.
So the concept is called robotic process automation. Means any process that you're doing as a user somehow gets changed by a bot is doing a monotonous job that you do every day, and they exactly this is how I'm doing it. A bot can do it for you and will learn over time because the data will keep on changing. So the bot will automatically teach itself using artificial intelligence and improve the efficiency of your daily job.
So what you're saying is eventually we'll have a bot to record these podcasts for us.
Absolutely, why not?
Yeah, it's funny. You always hear the stories about, oh, a robot's going to take your job. And the thing is, the one thing I'll say about my position here at the company, guys, I never do the same thing twice. And if I'm asked to do the same thing twice, it's always the opposite result is what we desire. So I think if you tried to have a robot do what we're doing, its head would just explode, right? Smoke everywhere. It's funny when you guys talk about the data and what they're doing with it, because I do look at what we do here at the Phia Group, and my theory is that, or my hope is that, it's a matter of, one, identifying data, identifying trends, looking at what it tells you. But the second thing, and I think this is equally, if not more important than looking at what it's telling you and identifying trends, is actually doing something about it. So there's knowledge, and then there's actionable knowledge. And, we have people, they say to us, oh, hey, look, we're going to look at all this claims data. We could predict how many people this employer, how many are going to end up with, a chronic disease, right? Like type 2 diabetes, how many diabetics in the next 2 to 3 years, and what it's going to cost. And I say, and then, right? And then.
So what you just said, Ron, is so interesting that in an analytics world, they call it data and information, right? I can have plenty of data, billions of records, but what information I can get from that data that I can intelligently apply to my process is what I'm looking for.
And I think that the concept of cost containment that we throw around there, and shoot, I'll look at it, right? 20-something years ago, right? Like I said, when we started scrubbing claims data and identifying third-party liability, we then said, not only are we going to identify the case, but we're going to take action. We're going to send a letter to that attorney. We're going to send a letter to that adjuster, and we're going to demand that they cut us a check. Instead of saying, hey, look at all this third-party liability. We don't know what to do with it, but isn't it interesting? And crossing that line and identifying what you can do with that information, I think that's what closes the loop. And that's why I'm so glad that we're working together as a team, you guys, because Hemant brings us such interesting information and data. We look at it and go, oh my God, I didn't know. What can we do with this? And then we change the process. Then you do another run through and you say, hey, here's the result. And we're working as a team and we're actually making changes based on these advancements in information.
Absolutely.
So
I think the data also holds us accountable, right? Because it forces us to confront it. The data doesn't lie. So it forces us to be better about coming up with new ways to be effective in cost containment. It forces us to address the concerns right in front of us. And so I think what we just talked about would be the answer to some people who say, whoa, all this data, it's unwieldy. I can't even sort through it. When you figure out how to sort through it and how to make it useful, that's the key. I like that we touched on that.
So it's kind of like you said, you've been here 4 years. Obviously, you're planning on being here forever, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, however long that is. But I guess just sort of big picture. And again, I always enjoy talking to people who actually have some experience in the outside world and have worked at other organizations and can kind of speak to what it's like outside these walls, right? What have you seen that's different about the company? And this is kind of something we ask every Face of Phia. What is it that you see that sort of differentiates us, keeps you enthusiastic, and kind of makes you want to stick around?
So from a real big enterprise, there are 2-3 things that I've always seen a difference between, say, a 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 people enterprise to our enterprise, right? There is not a lot of bureaucracy, right? You want to get things done, you're going to get things done quickly. You make people accountable, and you get things done, right? That's really big thing. Second thing is passion, right? Which I've seen everywhere. Every person you go and talk to, what their specific skill set and role in this company is, they are passionate about it. Because they don't need to get like myself, right? I know enough from a healthcare or cost containment point of view, just working with you guys, but what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about IT. That's my role. That's where I'm doing the leadership in. So that's what I have seen with every department where I go and talk to them, that if I'm talking to somebody in case handling, they are very passionate about what they do. So that's what is different, right? In the real big companies, there is so much, red tape that you have to take like 50 different approvals to get something done. And that's where the difference and the big picture is in this Phia Group, right? We are a small group of people, but we are very passionate about what we do day in, day out.
That's for sure. Wow. Well, I don't really think I can add to that. That pretty much covers the bases, guys. On behalf of myself, Brady, Hemant, our Face of Phia, Pat the Man Santos, our number 1, 2, and 3 producer. He does it all, right? Editing. Yes, people, sometimes we do edit these podcasts.
Thank you, Pat.
You're the man, Pat. You make us sound good. And to our partners, friends, allies, and everyone else listening, thank you so much for empowering your plans with the Phia Group and joining us for another episode of Faces of Phia.
Thank you very much.